Welcome to Books Not Bullets.
Today we will be talking about school safety and, most importantly, gun violence in schools.
I'm Trinity VanderWoude.
And I'm Sheila Hapner. Beyond the Rock Talk Show starts now. In the community now, it's more of a common occurrence for these gun violence and these things that are happening in schools, and it's a very unfortunate reality for a lot of kids to be living in.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Even just in the past 20 years, school shootings and school violence in general has just skyrocketed. Talking to parents, talking to grandparents, they all say that this wasn't a common occurrence for them, and it just has become a reality for students nowadays, as well as the staff and the faculty.
Yeah, coming off what you said about like grandparents, even my parents, who are only like a couple decades older than us, they even tell me that they didn't do lockdown drills where they had to hide from like an intruder in the school, and that really shows how much more common this has become for the children, which is very sad because a couple years ago, Oxford, which was very close to home, and that hit really hard for, I feel like, a lot of people in our community to see that, hey, this isn't just something you see on the news. This is something that could happen close to your hometown. And another thing that was pretty close was Granville. They got a bomb threat. And Granville's less than 40 minutes away from Rockford, which is another scarier thing because this thing could happen so close to home, and you just never know what could happen.
Yeah, you just never know who's going to walk into those doors, what's going to happen that day at school. And thankfully, we got a BTR team to go down there and actually talk to the Granville students and staff and kind of hear more of their story. So let's take a look.
Mr. Barrup needs to see this immediately.
It's kind of sad that something that serious doesn't really throw you for a loop.
On September 29th at 11:19 a.m., the Granville Transportation Department experienced something that would send them into action.
It started like any other day.
Our transportation department received an email.
It was one of those things where you kind of read it once and go, okay, and then immediately you think joke, but then go, all right, we need to be on top of this and take some action.
After an important call, administration knew they had to act quickly.
You know, you get on the phone right away. Hey, we need to take some steps here.
The first thing we needed to do was to make sure all of our transportation was halted.
The safety of students is always a priority for administration.
Where are all of our people out on the road right now?
And in moments of crisis, coordination and quick communication are key.
We did cancel all transportation after receiving the threat.
On such short notice, Granville students were left without transportation, but the Wyoming community showed up.
They all had buses and drivers on standby,
helping KCTC students and bringing the next steps to taking action.
Instantly, it's contacting the authorities because time's always of the essence.
With many task forces working together, they combine their efforts.
Granville PD, Grand Rapids PD, and the Michigan State Police.
And began their search for safety.
So we had everything inspected, and then we had a security company come in.
They went through everything.
Following the bomb search with police dogs, the Granville School District still had its endeavors.
Parents were very, very helpful. They were awesome.
As information came in, the focus switched to keeping families as informed as possible.
We let them know that we weren't going to be having buses transporting kids.
It's the transparency through communication that helped reassure families.
We had a communication out as quick as we could to our parents. Our buses were being searched as we sent that communication out.
After the crisis, emotions lingered, but support helped ease the anxiety. For many, it was a heavy reminder of today's difficult reality.
After something like that happens, everybody's going to have different feelings and emotions.
Obviously, it bothers us because it's the world we're living in.
While schools across the country have faced similar moments, Granville moved quickly to ensure student safety. It's a growing problem nationwide, but this time, Granville met the moment. Emerson Byers, Beyond the Rock.
That must have been just such a terrifying thing for those students and faculty, and just now after the threat, just being scared every single day that something may happen, a threat may occur again. Thankfully, it looks like they handled it pretty well as a school, but the students must be so nervous and scared now.
Yeah, and I feel like it's very unfair for students to have to fear to go to school every day, since school is such a common occurrence in our lives. We go every day, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, and it's just, we're there, we're with our friends, and no one should ever have to fear that their school is going to get attacked or their lives are in danger.
Yeah, and then also, like, it's a place to learn. It's a place for students to grow. They shouldn't be distracted by violence in their schools, stuff like that. And that's why an organization put together a countrywide school walkout, which students from our own high school participated in earlier this year. And I know both of us actually got the chance to go down there and see it. And it was just an amazing event that was held. And our school honestly did such a great job letting these kids do this and just having that support for other students who have gone through it and wanting change.
Yeah, and I feel like for me, especially when I went there, I really was inspired that these students are using their voice, using their opinions, using their choices, and they're speaking out about how students feel about all this. Obviously, I understand parents' fear for their kid, but it's different when you're the one going to the building every day, when you're the one being in that environment, fearing for, oh, what if the next moment I have to text and call my mom and be like, hey, I don't know if I'm going to make it home. So I'm very proud and I'm very grateful to be somewhere where my peers can go and protest and speak their minds.
Students here at Rockford High School decided to step out of their classrooms and onto the field, not to skip class, but to take a stand. And that stand was for an important topic: gun violence, particularly in schools. Students worked with administration to help our student voices to be heard.
I talked to our administration. I made sure what we were allowed to do, what we weren't, what's within our constitutional rights.
From there, the process of planning the event began.
We met with students, the organizers, and just made sure that they have a space where they can go and they can practice their rights. And then we have supervision of that space with our administrators and our security team.
Students Demand Action chapter leader Jonathan Rasnake helped to lead the charge.
I wanted a lot of people to see that their voices mattered.
So it's not about my thoughts as a person. Our job is to stay politically neutral as a school. My job is to honor student rights.
Action! Students demand action! After careful planning, September 5th came around, and at noon, students began gathering at the stadium.
We stand here for the fact that human safety is a right, not a privilege.
For many, it was a chance to express their concerns in a peaceful way.
I'm here to stand up for gun violence because everyone deserves to feel safe in school.
The thing that I should be fearing the most in school is how I'm going to do on my SAT, not if an active shooter is going to walk into the building and kill my best friend.
Students shouldn't have to fear their schools.
I just want there to be more awareness and more protocols made against school shootings and things to stop it.
I'd say that today is just about waking up the eyes of people and the government, showing them that, we really do care.
Similar walkouts took place across the country. More than 250 high schools took action and looked for ways to have their voices heard on issues that matter.
It's not just that enough is enough. Enough has been enough. They can't ignore all of us.
These students want more than their voices to be heard. They demand action.
The amount of people that have been hurt in such mass shootings in schools and people that have died because of this deserve to have justice against that.
I remember last year we had a school shooting threat and everyone was terrified to go to school. Half the class didn't even show up. So it's just, we shouldn't have to feel scared to come to a place to learn.
At the end of the protest, students took a lap around the track to honor victims of gun violence. Although many more steps need to be taken,
this is how change is made.
Savannah Dykstra, Beyond the Rock News.
tagging along to what I said even before, this is just such a great thing for the students. And I think what did the final push and what motivated all the kids to go to the walkout was that last year we did get a threat for Rockford High School. We did get a school shooting threat. And that day was honestly like the weirdest day for me. I went to school and I was just nervous. Like, I've never really been nervous to go to school because I would always think, oh, this would never happen to us. These threats would never happen to us. And then when it did come up, I was kind of just like, I didn't really know how to feel about it. So I went to school that day and it was just weird. Like, the school was empty. I walked in the school, it was silent. It's a high school, it's not supposed to be silent. You're supposed to hear kids talking, kids laughing, kids learning, talking to their friends. But I walked in that day and it was just quiet, and that was weird for me. And then I saw our school sheriff, our school security guards, they were just standing by the door. And normally they do stand by the door, but it was just more of them. And they were trying to, keep calm, make students think nothing was wrong. And then my friends came up to me, and I'll never forget this. One friend came up to me and she was like, I wore my running shoes today just in case I have to sprint away for my life. And that's something that a kid should never have to say going to school. And that was when it really set in for me, and I was like, hey, this is scary and this is real.
This is real, yeah. That must have been so scary, like just feeling the different environment that the school was bringing, just, I don't know, the emotion that you could almost feel off of everybody, the anxiety and the fear. And I do know that the school did do a really great job handling it, but personally for me, my anxiety was just so high that day that I couldn't go. And even if the school said that they had it handled, it was just one of those things that I just knew that my learning would feel off that day, and that school and that building would feel off. And I did remember hearing from people that were at school that it did feel off in that building. No one really learned that day. Over half of the students were gone. If you talk to the attendance office, I think there was around 600 to 800 kids that didn't show up that day because of that fear, because of that anxiety that not only they had, but their parents had for them as well. And just being a part of the school and the teachers and the faculty here, it must have even been scary for them because they had to show up no matter what. They had to come, and they have to do that every single day with fear or without fear. And I just think that the school honestly did a really good job handling it. I know that they had extra police there that day. They had dogs all around the building. I do think the school handled it well, but it was just a scary thing for students and teachers and parents even.
Yeah, and I know for me, I would go to my classes and the teachers would say, oh, if you need to go to the bathroom, you're allowed to bring a buddy today. And that's another thing. It's wow. And normally at our school, we only allow one person in the hallway at a time. That's a rule. And the fact that they were if you need a buddy, just in case something happens, that's scary because that makes it real. That even the adults in the building are hey, just be careful.
Yeah. And then just a great thing that happened over the summer for the school and faculty for all of Rockford is the I Love You Guys Foundation came in and taught school safety to not only the faculty at the high school, but from our 8 elementary schools, our 2 middle schools. He gave a whole presentation, an all-day event of just teaching how to protect kids and kind of telling his own story of what happened to him and what happened to his daughter many, many years ago. And it was just a moving thing for all of the students and for our team that was there that got to see it.
2006, on September 27th, a stranger entered Platte Canyon High School, where my twins, Emily and Casey, went to school.
Her life was cut short last week by a gunman who took her and 6 other classmates hostage in a Colorado high school.
The stranger held 7 girls hostage, and over the course of the afternoon, while she was held hostage, my daughter Emily sent a text message. I love you guys.
And then he did text her back after that.
Said,
Where are
you?
No other message ever came of it.
Ultimately, the stranger killed Emily, and based on that text message, we started the I Love You Guys Foundation.
After the loss of their daughter, the Keys family decided to turn the tragedy into a mission to help reduce the number of school-related crime.
Maybe it's Emily's gift. I love you guys. We started in the immediate aftermath. With some of the donations coming in, we needed a mechanism in order to manage and perhaps distribute those. And so we started the I Love You Guys Foundation in 2006. But it was really in 2009 when we started diving deep into school safety and crisis response. It initially started as presenting a keynote where the programs were mentioned. People started asking for training, and so we developed training to go out with that. Really grew into the training curriculum we have today. That word of mouth, I think the quality of the materials really allowed for the expansion.
John Michael Keys and their foundation provide training and presentations to schools all around the world. John Michael came to Rockford High School to give a presentation to all the staff in the district about the importance of school safety. He talks about the 5 actions and protocols that schools should take in the event something happens.
Hold, secure, lockdown, evacuate, and shelter. And this is kind of an all-hazards approach to handling any kind of stuff that comes up in schools. Hold, we stay in our classrooms, but still do business as usual, so we're still learning. Secure is when something is happening outside of the campus. So maybe it's criminal activity in the neighborhood, could be a fire, a house fire. Lockdown is when there's a threat inside the school and it locks lights out of sight. Evacuate, we actually have a couple of evacuation conversations, police-led evacuation, that if something happens in the building, what should we expect when law enforcement is leading the evacuation? Also talk about self-evacuation. If you think it's safer to get outside the building, you've got permission to do so. And then finally, shelter, that's typically when it's a more environmental concern. We like to state the hazard and the safety strategy.
Knowing these terms helps everyone have a common understanding, which helps to ensure safety in the case of an emergency. Thanks to John Michael Keys and the I Love You Guys Foundation for sharing your story and keeping our staff educated on school safety. This has been Annika Lake, Beyond the Rock.
What the I Love You Guys Foundation is doing is just really moving and really empowering, taking something that happened to them, that happens to a lot of families, and making a good thing out of it is just something that is really important in this world and is really moving for not only the students and the faculty that are learning from what his teachings are, but for parents and other loved ones who have lost kids in school shootings and school violence issues in general.
Yeah. I think this program is really amazing. I'm really grateful for him for making this program and turning grief into amazing teachings for other people in other schools, benefiting hundreds and thousands of kids in schools is very inspiring for me.
I 100% agree, and it's really helpful for our faculty to learn those safety things and be able to keep us protected in the future, because like we said earlier, it is close to home and it is happening in our world and it is a real issue.
Yeah, this was an amazing experience for me to talk about my perspectives on this, and I'd love hearing yours. And I think that this is very important to talk about, especially for students, to stand up, speak up, and say what's on their mind.
I 100% agree with you. I just think that being able to talk about this and share with adults and other students and other teachers and just staff in general about our perspective on the world we live in today and kind of what change we want to see and what change we're happy that we're seeing was just a really amazing thing, and I am also very grateful to be a part of it today.
I think that's a great end for us today. Thank you for joining us for Books Not Bullets. I'm Sheila Hapner.
And I'm Trinity VanderWoude.